Hey everybody, my name is Jay Martin. Thanks for watching. And there's a neat little backstory to this game. What had happened is a couple dudes from a clan called Legere, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but they had contacted Ratu, and they said, hey, we'd love to get a match in against Huntsman. And Ratu said, hey, no sweat, and Ratu got me to take care of it, and I got my buddy Leonidas to play with me. And so this is a game, Huntsman versus Legere, and playing for Huntsman is myself and Leonidas. And over here we have the Prophet Rise, and that is Echelon. And these were just the neatest guys. I don't think they give themselves enough credit. They kind of think of themselves as maybe newer or not terribly good. I thought they were incredibly strong players, and they were just psyched to get a game in against the Huntsman group. And we were really psyched to play a game with them because they were really fun to play with, and they played a really clean, fairly technical game, and that's what is fun at the end of the day. And this match, I thought, gave me a really good opportunity to segue into another topic that I wanted to talk about. And a couple days ago, I posted a video. I think the title was "It's Okay to Lose." And at the time that I recorded it, I was really pissed off because of some things that one of the opponents did a lot. And what they essentially did a lot was take advantage of new players. So they would play games on rigged maps with new players. And the real root reason of why that offends me, I don't think I ever got around to saying, because I was a little, I was a little upset, and so my brain was racing. And the thing that I want to suggest has mostly to do with the value of gaming communities, or communities in general, and I'm a big believer in that, a big proponent of that. And I want to get you to think about something. You have two options of how you can play this game. You can just log into this game anonymously and play games with other random players that you don't know terribly well. Or what you can do is you can form relationships with other players and get to know them and become friends with them and play with your friends. And if you are somebody who gets to do that, you're in a clan and you build relationships, you know how much more fun playing this game is when you get to play it with your friends or people that you form friendships with. And before I joined Huntsman, I kind of played this game kind of as a lone wolf. And after I got to join a gaming group and I formed friendships with other players, the amount of fun that I got out of this game increased dramatically. And through the wonders of technology, we can actually talk to each other. And I mean, Leonidas, when you get right down to it, is really just a voice that comes through my computer speakers. But Leonidas is a real human sitting in front of his TV or his computer, and we get to talk to each other and we get to hang out. And you don't have to meet someone face to face to form a legitimate friendship with them. I consider the guys that I get to hang out with for a couple hours a day, as my real friends. And the value that I get out of playing this game is so much more fun. And it's so much more fun. And so there's a real value to creating a good community. And not only for your friends, because I have fun playing with my friends, but there's a value to there just a community existing in general, because it gives us neat people to compete with. Like these Legere guys, I don't know them personally, but we had just a really neat, engaging time hanging out with them for about an hour this afternoon. We played a series of games with them, and they were really fun. And if you compare the alternative of you just log into the game, play with some people you don't know, etc., we had, in the end, a net of much more fun than if we'd played against just random people, etc. And so I'm a big believer in the value of there being a community and participating in that community. And more importantly, I think that once you start participating it puts an implicit responsibility on you to be a responsible herald or a responsible representative of that community as a whole. And what really pisses me off is when people do things to disrupt that community. Like when people aren't... The worst thing is when a new player has a bad experience playing this game. Because if you accept the proposal that the value of having a community is good, then we want to make that community as big and diverse as possible, right? And if a new player logs in, that could be a new player who, joins the implicit Napoleon Total War community. Like, Leonidas at one point logged on for the very first time. At one point, I logged on for the very first time. And if somebody logs on for the very first time and has a bad experience, then they're not going to come back, right? And so what really pisses me off about campers and people who play with rigged game settings is that all they're going to do, players who've been around a while know not to get into those rigged games, but all you do when you host a rigged game or you camp is you draw in newbies and you give a newbie a really bad experience. And guess what? That newbie, if they have a bad experience, they're not coming back. Right? The reason we don't like camping is because camping isn't fun. It is not fun to have to walk across an entire map with unicorns pounding you the whole way, and by the time you get there, you're dead. Right? A new player has that happen to them a couple times in a row, and they're going to think, well, this game sucks. I'm going to go play StarCraft, or I'm going to get outside and go for a jog or something like that. The reason is it isn't fun, and it's in the interest of everybody to make the game as fun as possible. A game that we got to play against these Legere guys, that's fun. We got in there in the middle, and we all walked up, and we competed, right? That's exactly how you do it. I think there was a thread lately on the TW Center forums about, Huntsman doesn't allow artillery. Well, the reason we don't like artillery is because artillery encourages camping, and that's boring. It's not fun. We like to have games where both sides get there in the middle, and they fight. Like, let's get in there and compete. And if you want to camp on the other side of the map just to earn a W, we don't fucking care about the fucking W, alright? We want to get in there and have fun. That's the only reason I paid, the $60 for this game. That's the only reason I play this game, is because it's fun. And if you like to play with game settings that give you the extra opportunity to get a win, well, that's fucking boring. I don't care about the win. We're interested in having fun. And at the end of the day, that is what really matters. And in a related thread, Terminator made a good argument on the TW Center forums, and he said, the real reason that Huntsman is really good is because they communicate well with each other, and not just because we have a TeamSpeak channel where we can talk to each other, but because you spend enough time on that channel that you actually get to know the other people. They become your friends. You form a rapport with them. And Leo and I get to hang out for 1 or 2 or a couple hours a day. We get to play a couple games, and I feel really comfortable playing with Leo because essentially I know the guy fairly well, in the sense that he's a voice that comes over the speakers of my computer, and because, we have essentially a relationship that lets us play pretty well together, and that results in the field. And you can tell with these Legere guys that they got along really well, and they spent some time together, and I thought that they, played really well together. So in the end, all of these concepts kind of merge into the same final argument that you want the game to be as fun as possible, and the ways that you make the game fun are you make it fun for everybody, and then in the process of doing that, you form relationships with other players, and you find other players that maybe you don't necessarily form friendships with, but you form, acquaintances with that let you just get some good competition in. And at the end of the day, if I can load up and I get to play a game with Leonidas or any of the other guys that I hang out with regularly, and that's the most fun for me. I can do tons of shit with my time. This is how I choose to spend a lot of it, and I choose to spend a lot of it just because it's fun, and it's more fun this way, right? That's the only reason anybody plays the game. I don't really get off on beating up new players. I could lose every game, but if I'm able to crack some jokes at the end of it, then that's okay. And all you have to do really is, both myself and Point Man have a couple live recordings where you get to watch or listen to guys in channel, and more often than not, it's just making jokes, and even when you lose, you're like, oh, you're still having fun, and that's what's really important. So the kind of I think the argument that I never got around to expressing in my other video, because I was kind of upset at the end, is that the reason I really get upset with people who play rigged map settings, or people who play sort of inaccessible games to new players, or unfair map settings, or try to take advantage to get wins, that, first of all, all doesn't impress me, and it doesn't impress me because it's not fun. It doesn't impress me because, at the end, the value that I get with the friendships I formed with the people I get to play with is actually funner to me than the act of playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, we could play any game, and if I got to play it with guys like Leonidas, we could play online checkers or some shit, and it would still be fun. You know what I mean? And so, be nice to the new players and do things to support them having an accessible gaming experience. You know what I mean? And do things like that. And just, it's not about winning. It's not about being the best. I don't really care who's the best. What I'm most interested in is having fun. And that, I think, really should be the focus. And anyway, that's sort of the end of the match we had with these guys. I want to thank them a bunch for playing with us. We had a great time, and anytime you guys from Legere want to get a game in, send me a message, and I'll see if I can put a little Huntsman team together for you. And yeah, and that's it. So hey, just be nice to each other and get out there and have a good time gaming. And if you're not a member of a gaming community, try to start one. To pick a couple people that you kind of run into a lot and say, hey, you want to get together and maybe start a clan, or just to form some friendships. It's a really neat addition to the modern gaming experience that we're able to create social networks with each other, and that's really what makes modern gaming interesting. So anyway, I'll say thanks for watching, and once again, Leonidas, thanks for playing with me, bud, and the guys from Legere for playing with us. We had a great time, and I will check you in the next video. Bye.